Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Just like you, I have so many unanswered questions about Descendants 5 with Wonderland, and I would love to have these questions answered. So let's talk about the future of Descendants and Zombies, because indeed there is one. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to go ahead and get that out of the way right now, because you're not going to miss a single second of the action for every video that will drop in the archives of this YouTube channel. Because I go above and beyond the requirements of any YouTube creator to make sure there is a video uploaded every single day about Descendants and Zombies, because I feel very passionate about the franchises you grew up with and the heroes that you've idolized, such as Clarke and Freya Sky. I think this conversation never has to be over, and so it shouldn't be. So I think that the best thing we can do is post so many positive reviews of Descendants and Zombies to encourage people and give them hope for the foreseeable future of Descendants and Zombies. I've seen and I've heard it all when it comes to critics in their reviews of Descendants and Zombies wishing that it would just fade away off into obscurity and be forgotten about. I've heard and I've seen it all, and to be honest with each and every one of you, it really frustrates me, because the futures of Freya Sky and Clarke have never been more apparent than they are right now. Freya Sky is somebody who is going to go on to achieve superstardom because of the undeniable love and support that you guys have shown for Freya, for songs like Silent Treatment, Gold's Gone, Fake It. Beautiful, beautiful songs, 10s across the board. And I believe that Freya Sky is going to be the next Taylor Swift. This is a conversation I've had with many people who are fans of Descendants and Zombies, and I believe the future of Freya Sky has never been more apparent than it is right now. And when you talk about a future for Clarke, her resume speaks volumes. High School Musical, the musical, the series, Gabby Duran and the Unsuitables, Berserk, Raven's Home. Did I forget anything? Descendants, the most revered role Clarke ever donned, the character Red. I think that everything that Clarke has put so much heart and dedication into has really paid off for her, and she has represented the Descendants franchise better than anyone else ever has. And I think the past stars of Descendants have something to be really proud about when you talk about Clarke. Now, I know Clarke has received a lot of criticism about everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Do I think it has any place in a conversation revolving around or having anything to do with Clarke? I most certainly do not. And I think that things like her political point of view should be left out of the conversation. Opinions about her relationship should be left out of a conversation. And we should take more of a chance on Clarke than ever before. And if I could take a second to just say, Clarke, we love you so much. Our fans support, our love for you is going nowhere anytime soon, and we are going to remain right by your side to the very end. Because I think that she's seen so much criticism, and all I've ever wanted Clarke to know from every video that I've ever uploaded is that we love you, and we're forever and always going to be here right by your side. Because the thousands of people who love Clarke saw something special in Clarke and took a chance on Clarke when they really didn't have to. And the fan support for Clarke has forever remained consistent and remained loyal. You know, I've always wanted to have thousands of people subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thousands of people subscribe to this YouTube channel like Freya Sky's YouTube channel or Clarke YouTube channel. You know, launching a YouTube channel to have 500,000 views and over 500,000 subscribers in less than 1 year is a milestone. And Clarke did that at just the age of 15. Who does that at 15 years old? I know people have done it, but you never hear about it anytime soon in any conversations. But when you hear about Clarke and her accomplishments, a YouTube channel with 500,000 views and 500,000 subscribers is truly remarkable. And I thought after watching so many videos that Clarke had uploaded, I knew she was going to be something special. And I was just excited to be a part of it. So what I wanted to do on my YouTube channel was create hundreds of videos about Clarke to let Clarke know how I felt about her. And I think she's doing a fabulous job, 10s across the board, for everything that she's ever been a part of. You can talk about her reoccurring roles on shows like Berserk and Raven's Home and Gabby Duran and the Unsuitables, series that ended long before their time. But I think that when we took a chance on Clarke donning this character Red, which was set up in the royal wedding in 2021, I think it was fabulously put together. It took them 3 years to develop the rise of Red, but it was 3 years well worth the wait, because these new characters took a spin on the franchise and took us on a wild ride, that one we will never, ever forget. If there ever was a roller coaster ride to experience, I think it was the one courtesy of the Rise of Red cast, because there was so much energy, unlike anything I'd ever experienced in my lifetime. And I've been a part of every single franchise that I can mention, from Hannah Montana to Wizards to High School Musical to Teen Beach Movie. I've seen it all. I've seen and I've heard it all. And I've heard so many reviews about people's opinions that have really been taken out of context or misinterpreted. And all I've ever wanted to do as a YouTuber is create videos to offer people incentive and encouragement that there is hope for the foreseeable future. I say this because years ago I was a really big fan of High School Musical and Hannah Montana. And if there ever was a fan of High School Musical or Hannah Montana, it was this guy. Which means I never wanted to see the series see their conclusion. But when it finally happened, I was so overcome with emotion because I never wanted to say goodbye to my favorite franchises. I never wanted to say goodbye to whatever era I was a part of and fortunate enough to be a part of as a fan of Disney, because moments like these, as I've said many times on every single video that I've ever uploaded, only happen once for every lifetime. So because they happen for every once for every lifetime, they should forever and always be cherished and never ever be forgotten, and should hold a special place in each and every one of our hearts. So when Hannah Montana and High School Musical eventually said goodbye and had their last hurrah, like Ariana Grande is reportedly having right now, I don't know if I really buy into that or not, because people will say anything they possibly can about a celebrity. I guess that has everything to do with Wicked's recent success and how Wicked is receiving so many great reviews. People are raving about Wicked for good. So I guess that has everything to do with how people are saying that Ariana Grande is having her last hurrah right now. It really gets me how people can get away with posting the ridiculous reviews and their thoughts and opinions the way they do. This is why if I wanted to do anything, I wanted to talk about Descendants and Zombies in a way that it was meant to be talked about, so that you guys would know the guy hosting the show was just as passionate about Descendants and Zombies as each and every one of you are. I have never encountered or experienced anything like this in my lifetime, and I seriously doubt that I ever will again. So if it's all right by you, I would like to remain the host of this show and be your voice of Descendants and Zombies for forever. If there is such a thing as forever, which is something I've always wanted to encourage on this YouTube channel, so if you're believing in forever, I think you should continue to believe in forever, because forever does exist. While it's been said many times that forever doesn't exist and forever can't happen for any of us, I think that was made more apparent than ever before because of the scripts of Descendants and Zombies, because they were so powerful. The beautiful love story between Zed and Addison, Milo Manheim, and Meg Donnelly's respective characters is the best example that I can use for you, because we saw ourselves in our own everyday lifetime experiences, our everyday life relationships, and we saw ourselves faced with the same kind of circumstances. I think we all get to a point where we meet a person in our lifetime that we wish we could spend the rest of our lives with and stay with for forever. And I think Descendants of Zombies, especially the zombie script, encouraged that more than ever before. And that was more apparent than ever before in the final scene between Zed and Addison, where they contemplated their future and they shared that romantic kiss. It was 7 years in the making, but it was 7 years well worth the wait. And I understand where people's frustration lies with how Freya Skye and Malachi Burton have yet to kiss in the Zombies franchise. I get that, because I was a guy watching that who wanted to hear the words "I love you" in the script for Zed and Addison. I knew going into the movie we were going to hear it. I just didn't know at what point or what moment, and when it finally happened about 45 minutes into the movie, I said it was 45 minutes well worth the wait, because I was watching Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires just to hear them share that with each other and contemplate spending the rest of their lives together, because I believe we all reach a point in our own lives where we think about ourselves in the same situation and or circumstances. So now people want to see Victor and Nova kiss, and I see where you're coming from, because you're huge fans of Malachi Burton and Freya Skye's characters, who have done a fabulous job carrying on the legacy of the franchise that have meant so much to people like Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim. We will get to a point where we will see them kiss. We just don't know when it's going to happen. There could be 3 or 4 movies of this new franchise, because there's so much story yet to be told and to be discovered. Pirates, mermaids have yet to see their introduction into this franchise, possibly witches. So with how many supernatural characters we have yet to see their introduction into the franchise. And when you think about it, we could see mermaids in one movie. By Zombie 6, we could see witches. And by Zombie 7, we could see sirens. We could see trolls and goblins by Zombies 8. You can really have up to 10 movies when it comes to the Zombies franchise, because for people who are suggesting that we're running out of supernatural characters to see their introduction into the Zombies franchise, I think they've really got to take a step back and put things into perspective, because when you talk about the history of supernatural characters, there is so much of a history with zombies alone, and so many storylines, hundreds if not thousands, that you can present for the Zombies franchise. There are so many storylines that you can present for the vampire side of things or the werewolf side of things, and you can keep this story going for years to come, and years that I'm excited to be a part of as your voice of Descendants of Zombies. Thankfully, you guys got me into Descendants of Zombies, and you showed me the passion that exists behind every chapter in the Descendants of Zombies franchise. You guys gave me a reason to start posting YouTube videos again, and your reason to become your voice of Descendants of Zombies, which is an honor for me to have the chance to do every single day. because I really believe that when you show up on YouTube and you record a video about Descendants of Zombies, every single time you've got to show up on YouTube and you've got to say how you feel about Descendants of Zombies and state your reasons why you love a song or you love a particular moment in the franchise that meant so much to your heart. For me, it was the story between Zed and Addison because of how much they meant to the Zombies franchise and how they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together, because I saw a lot of myself in those characters. I saw so much of a chance of hope existing and forever really existing out there somewhere in the world, no matter what circumstances and or situation you may have been caught up within. I think everything about zombies made perfect sense, and Disney introduced it during a fabulous time, off the introduction of the Marvel multiverse stuff, which a lot of people checked out of Marvel because of. I get that too. But I stayed with Disney because I was forever loyal to the product, and I took a chance on things like Zombies that was introduced around the same time. It premiered a couple of days after Valentine's Day. I believe February 18th is when Zombies originally produced back in 2018. And I remember this musical being so fantastic. The opening dance number, This Is Gonna Be My Year. And it turned out to be a fabulous year for both Zed and Addison because they discovered their passions. And Addison went on to discover her true calling as a werewolf, an alien eventually by Zombies 3. It was so cool how she was trying to figure out her place in the world while struggling with the challenges that the relationship with Zed had presented itself with. I remember Zombies 2 when they broke up for the first time, and I was kind of heartbroken. I was kind of emotional over that because I wanted them to get to a point where they would realize they would spend the rest of their lives together. It didn't happen until Zombies 4, but by the time the Zombies 4 script was presented and developed, I think we all had a greater appreciation for how far Zed and Addison's story had come up to that point, and then they were passing the torch to Victor and Nova's characters, Malachi Burton, and Freya Sky's characters, who I can never say enough nice things about. I really do believe we have to give these new characters more of a chance than we ever have before, and I have this to say to every critic who has criticized Freya Sky: we've really got to back off, and we've got to show more respect to her because she's only 16. When I was 16 years old, I was playing PlayStation 2. I didn't know if I was coming or going. I didn't know if I'd ever make sense of my own life. But Freya Sky at 16 years old is recording albums. She's starring in movies. I mean, who can say at 16 years old that they're starring in the most popular Disney franchise of all time? Or at least one of them. Nobody really can. And I think that's forever and always been a dream of somebody watching this video, to be a part of a Disney Channel franchise such as Zombies because of its rarity. I think the dreams of Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky becoming a realization just puts into perspective just how much further we can take each and every one of our individual dreams, regardless of how difficult that dream may seem to be to achieve. Because a dream is that much closer to each and every one of us, and closer than many of us may realize. It may take some of us longer to achieve our dreams than others, but when we eventually get to a point where the dream happens for us and it becomes a reality, there's a real meaning behind accomplishing a dream that you set out to achieve. It starts with a goal, setting out to accomplish that goal, and when you finally do accomplish that goal, the sense of accomplishment is truly unbelievable. Trust me on that. Everybody has a light, and everybody does eventually find that light. I know that sounds a lot like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, but it's truer than ever before. Everybody has a light, and everybody eventually finds that light. It sounds a lot like the Kingdom Hearts script, but Kingdom Hearts had one of the best video game scripts ever developed and was the greatest Disney game of all time. So you're going to have to cut me a break, if anything, because I was a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. Kind of like how you guys are fans of Descendants of Zombies. I love Descendants of Zombies fans so much. I love your appreciation for the dolls and the posters and the merchandise, the sweaters, the t-shirts, and the hoodies that went sold by the millions at the Worlds Collide Tour. I think that people who went home and recorded videos about the Worlds Collide Tour and criticized everything from the ticket prices starting up as high as $200 to the quality of the merchandise had nothing else better to do with their own lives. So they thought, okay, if I'm going to record a video about the Worlds Collide Tour, I'm going to record a video with nothing but criticism seen in it and heard in it for the fans of Descendants of Zombies to discourage their hopes and dreams of anything ever happening again for the Descendants of Zombies franchises, including like 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour, or Descendants 5 at Wonderland, or even Zombies 5. But think about it like this. If I just invested $6.2 million buying a Christmas music video for Snow Angels, and Freya Sky and Malachi Burton did a fabulous job for the Snow Angels music video, do you really think that I'm killing off the Zombies franchise? As the writer, director, and producer of Zombies 5, I have nothing but high hopes for the future, and I'm singing the praises of Freya Sky and Malachi Burton because I see the potential. I see them becoming superstars. So how they become superstars is to carry on the legacy of a franchise that previously meant so much to its previous cast and previous successors. This is why Meg Donnelly and Mila Manheim are sitting behind the camera moving forward, because they know that Freya Sky and Malachi Burton are going to be a part of a fabulous future, and they too want to experience it in their own right. More power to them. Come to think of it though, guys, I've always wanted to be the director and the writer and producer behind the Zombies and Descendants franchises. So if you guys can give me 50,000 likes and 50,000 subscribers, I would love you forever, because that will give me a chance to become the writer and director and producer of Descendants of Zombies, and that's when things are really going to start happening for these franchises. More special effects, more bigger budgets, more opportunities, more PR. I think that if you're going to be a director for Descendants of Zombies, instead of having the director's chair being a revolving door for Descendants, from Kenny Ortega to eventually Jennifer Fang to eventually what became Kimmy Gatewood, I think you have to have one dedicated director, one dedicated writer and producer who can really give this life and really show it meaning. Because the thing about fairy tales are, there are so many fairy tale characters that have yet to see their introduction into this franchise. From Aladdin, from Hercules, from The Little Mermaid. There are so many characters that have yet to see their introduction into the franchise who can offer so much to it with a far greater appreciation than ever given credit for. Because you think about the story of Aladdin and Jasmine. All Aladdin ever wanted to earn from Jasmine was her trust. And when he finally earned it, dreams came true, and they became more of a reality than ever before. I always remember that iconic scene where they took on the magic carpet ride, and they went for a ride with the stars, and they realized that all their cares and all their worries had just faded off into obscurity for even just a brief moment. And they realized they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. I think that Red and Chloe should pay a visit to the Cave of Wonders. I think Red and Chloe should pay a visit to Olympus, because the possibilities are really endless for the Descendants of Zombies franchises. You just have to have more creative minds in a room than you've ever had before. And forgive me, I really do think that Disney is really lacking in the creative department, and they've been lacking in the creative department for years. I think that if you had more creative energy and more of a positive vibe, then more hope would be allocated for Descendants of Zombies. I know it has everything to do with a bigger budget being approved, a bigger storyline being approved, and more detail being approved. But I really do believe there is more of a chance to be taken on Descendants of Zombies than ever before. So because you guys believe in Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have, I think as YouTubers we need to realize that, and we need to respect that. But unfortunately for us, 95% of the people who are YouTubers don't ever respect the fans of Descendants of Zombies. But I do. And regardless of what happens or what becomes of these franchises in the foreseeable future, you guys will forever and always have me to offer you commentaries and analogies and reviews of Descendants of Zombies the way they've forever and always meant to be presented. I think there's a certain value in talking about Descendants of Zombies, and you've really got to think about the fan watching the video and realize that you have a certain age demographic who feel very passionate about their favorite songs and the moments that have made them fans of Descendants of Zombies. So because they have a favorite song, a favorite character, and a favorite moment from whatever franchise they remember watching, I think that it's so special and such a huge honor to sit in front of your microphone and talk about Descendants of Zombies every single time the chance presents itself too. Because I didn't get to have the chance to talk about Descendants of Zombies. I had the honor of meeting so many wonderful people who love Descendants of Zombies and feel the same way that I do. I never thought it was possible to create a YouTube channel and become a YouTube star overnight. Fame's had a way of following me everywhere I went in my lifetime, but I never thought I'd achieve so much virality because of talking about Descendants of Zombies. But it happened because of each and every one of you. It didn't happen because I just decided to upload Descendants of Zombies videos at random from my parents' basement. It happened because you guys believed in me so much, and I have each and every one of you to thank. So if I go down in history for being one of the greatest to ever talk about Descendants of Zombies, because nobody can do it the way that I can, I want you guys to come with me. I'm taking every one of you with me. When I stand on the D23 Expo stage to accept my award for being the greatest of all time and a Disney legend, I want you guys to know that I will never ever forget each and every one of you, because you made all my dreams possible. You're the reason for these stuffies, you're the reason for the YouTube production, you're the reason for $5,000 having been put behind this YouTube channel and no regrets having been had since. I've put $5,000 behind this YouTube channel and never looked back since, and never had any regrets. Because I love talking about Descendants of Zombies, and if there's one thing I get excited about and look forward to doing, it's having this conversation with each and every one of you, because I see the good in Freya Sky. I've seen the good forever and always in Clarke and Shaw, and I believe more of a chance needs to be taken on them, and more credit needs to be shown to them where credit is due, because I think if credit is due and credit is deserved to be shown to these people, along with a lot of respect, I think we should show it to them. And I think the best way to do that is come together as one and show our love and support for Descendants of Zombies into that foreseeable future, because Lord knows we're going to see so much criticism for Descendants by Book of Wonderland, it's never going to cease to exist. And the reality I'm faced with as a YouTuber, I'm up against 15 million critics when it comes to Descendants of Zombies, because it's been said many times over the years, everybody is a critic. But even though everybody is a critic, I think it's safe to take more of a chance on Descendants of Zombies and have hope for that foreseeable future, because I just want to be a part of that future as your voice of Descendants of Zombies. You guys have got to believe me, it's the greatest honor of my life having the chance to host this podcast for each and every one of you, and it's an opportunity and a chance that I took on, and ever since taking on this responsibility, I've had so much fun. Because I not only got to talk about Descendants of Zombies, I had the honor of meeting each and every one of you. I know I will say this all over again tomorrow morning, but I love talking about Descendants of Zombies because of each and every one of you, because you guys make this YouTube channel happen. And I can never seem to thank you guys enough. Yes, there is a future for Descendants and Zombies. There is going to be a Zombies 5, regardless of how the critics are making you feel, because I know how it goes. You're YouTubing Descendants of Zombies videos, such things as, when is Zombies 5 coming out? We all want to know the answer to that question, myself included. I wish I had the answer to tell you guys, because believe me, if I knew when Zombies 5 was coming out, I'd be the first to tell you guys, and I probably will be the first guy to tell you guys and upload a video about it, because I'll be just as excited as each and every one of you by the time Zombies 5 happens. The forecasted release date looks to be 2028, and I know that feels like forever away, but even though it's not going to happen until 2028, 2027, the latest possible release date, I will upload videos for Descendants of Zombies for the rest of my life, because I've allocated and dedicated the rest of my life to talking about Descendants of Zombies because of each and every one of you and because of how you feel about it. So it doesn't give me the right to criticize Kylie Control or criticize Freya Sky. I'd pretty much be a loser if I did that. But you guys saw the good in me when nobody else ever could, and I love talking about Descendants of Zombies because of each and every one of you. So because there's a future about Descendants of Zombies, I say, let's talk about it. And let's experience this together the way it's forever and always been meant to be experienced. If you are somebody who has not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably want to go ahead and get that out of the way right now. Hit the like button, and don't forget to ring my bell to stay up to date with notifications, so each time I upload a video, you will get notified. I love talking about Descendants of Zombies because I know how much it means to each and every one of you, and I had no regrets ever since. I feel like I've been attending Ordon Prep for all of my lifetime, and I've never left since. And this has been the most fun that I've ever had in my entire life. Guys, if you love this YouTube channel, let me know by hitting the like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel, because this conversation is never going to be over, because it never has to be over, because we have millions of people, 600,000 people alone on YouTube who love Descendants of Zombies. Can you imagine if 600,000 people subscribe to this YouTube channel? It would be crazy. I don't think I would ever get over that, nor live to tell about it. But man, this is so fun, talking about Descendants of Zombies. So I say we keep this conversation going for as long as possible to give people hope about that foreseeable future, because indeed there is one. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video and allowing me to be a part of all of your lives as the voice of Descendants and Zombies. I guess I got to do it because I haven't done it in a long time. The voice of Descendants and Zombies. Zombies. Oh yeah. I had to get that one in there. People love when I do that. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit my like and subscribe buttons. We will talk more about Descendants and Zombies in that foreseeable future, one that I'm incredibly excited to be a part of. Thank you guys so much for having watched this video.